Hi Capricorn, welcome to your November reading. I am so grateful and honored to spend this precious time with you, your precious time, and thankful that you have found yourself here. My name is Allie, and I am really excited to get into your reading. I've already meditated and I'm cleansing this space now. And in the meditation for you, I was first given an image of an eagle flying, like a looking down at the world below them, and this feeling of a higher perspective. And then I was given an image of someone, I don't know if this is important or not, but they just didn't have like much clothes on. It wasn't sexual in nature whatsoever. It was like well, it makes sense now as I say this, because the message was a playfulness and reconnecting with nature on the simplest level, of someone jumping around in like a babbling brook, splashing and just experiencing joy and fun and laughter. So in its simplest form. So we are going to dive in here and see what the message is for you. I feel called to use my new Urban Crow Oracle that was gifted to me by my best friend for my upcoming birthday. I've really enjoyed working with it. And as I said in the Sagittarius reading that I posted last, it definitely just kind of has October autumnal vibes to it. So it feels right to be using it at this moment in time. Please and thank you, Spirit team of Capricorn. And this is Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm hearing Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. What do you want them to know for the next month, for November, rather, I should say, for November? Even though these readings are timeless, we're setting the intention for November. What do you want Capricorn to know? Thank you. It looks like you got at least two there. What is on the horizon? What do you want them, thank you, to be aware of? Now, look at that. How beautiful. We have perspective at the bottom of the deck, which is exactly the energy that I was being given in the beginning of your meditation, of an eagle looking down, a higher perspective. Thank you for that confirmation, Spirit. Oh, we have gifts. We have ghosts. I like how this is 20 and 21. And then we have 9, communication. I'm actually kind of being bombarded with messages here for you, so give me just a moment to recalibrate myself. If you have a piece of selenite, I feel called to encourage you to hold that piece while you listen to the reading, or have that piece near you when you sleep at night. I do feel like there's a recharging that needs to occur in your energetic field, and I don't feel anything negative. I want to preface by saying I don't feel anything negative here, but I do feel like you are a bit run down. Even if you're on the more optimistic side of things right now, I do feel like your energy is starting to feel kind of run down, like you're going through the motions. You're wondering when the next thing is going to kind of come down the pike. Also wondering if and when circumstances are going to change. I do feel like you've been getting intuitive nudges that there's some big change on the horizon for you. But I feel like right now you're kind of like head down, doing the work, powering through. And again, I don't feel like there's anything negative here, except that I just feel like you're run down. So there's firstly an energy coming through of using tools and allowing yourself to kind of have that energetic cleansing or recalibration to help uplift your spirits. I also want to apologize if you hear my children crying. Their father is putting them to bed and they're kind of fussy. But also anything that comes through in a reading is intentional. So maybe you are kind of just feeling really tired. Like when am I going to be able to step out of this this mundane, this pattern? I feel like you're waiting for pieces to come together to kind of lift you out of your current daily life or happenings. And what's so beautiful here with gifts here in the middle, number 21, which is the world and tarot, about things coming to completion. You are completing this cycle, and Spirit is going to be bringing this through as a big gift for you. I'm actually going to pause the reading until my daughter calms down, and then I'll be back. I'm so sorry. Thank you for your patience with me. Although hopefully it's not too big of a blip here in the middle of your reading. So the gifts card here is really standing out to me. Number 21 being the world in tarot of a cycle completing. What I feel like you've been waiting for and intuitively feeling is for a cycle to complete, for a gift to come in, for something to shift your reality where it's not just trying to complete the day. And I continually keep getting this energy that it's not like it's not like, at least for most of you, it doesn't feel like you're unhappy with your life. I think you have found joy in even the very small things, giving gratitude for what you already have. I believe that you're doing that. But I do feel that you are waiting for like a door to unlock, for an opportunity to arise, or for a miracle or a gift to show up in your world, that I also feel like you have been manifesting on one level or another for quite a while. That just helps shift your circumstances where it's easier, where it's lighter, where it's more in line with your highest desire, your highest timeline, what you've truly been manifesting. And so with this being at the center of your reading tells me that is coming in for you. I feel like there is a message here from Spirit about things from the past with the Ghost card. Tethers from the past, things that you have done a lot of work already to release and let go of. Maybe you've done cord cutting rituals, like multiple on the same thing. I feel like there's been a lot of intention set over a long period of time to let go of things from the past that really harmed you, that really wrecked your psyche and your emotional and physical stability. But they're not all the way gone, is what I'm kind of feeling here. And I'm also having difficulty, like, it has to be related to your reading, because I have not had this issue all day with speaking. And then we have the communication card here, but I have like this weirdness in my throat just trying to get words out. It's difficult. It's really difficult, actually. And what I'm being given here is, I think there's an element to the things that you have worked so hard to release, just remove from your energy, from your psyche, but there's a vocal component that hasn't been actualized or met yet. And what do we mean by that? They're in this healed state that you are in. You may not have spoken how this truly harmed you or spoken your truth to the person that did the real harming in this healed version of yourself. And so I don't feel whatsoever, actually, that Spirit is saying that you need to go and talk to, your abuser or the whoever this person was, or people in a situation that really just harmed you, like a lifelong thing. It's not something you would ever forget. It's not like 20 years down the line you'd be like, oh yeah, that thing happened to me. No, this is ingrained in you. That's why it's been so difficult to excise from your being in a way where you could really begin to heal. So there should be no doubt about who or what this situation is. I don't know that you have been vocal in your healed state to speak about what you went through. Now, the energy I'm getting from Spirit is honestly maybe sitting down and recording yourself and just saying it out loud to a crystal like selenite. That would make perfect sense why they would want you to have that particular stone, crystal energy on your person. If you were to do an exercise like this where, you voice everything that needs to be said, or you could write it out. But I do feel like there's this speaking it in a purging kind of way. I just feel very drawn to share this exercise with you because it feels like that really needs to be done in order for you to be ready for these gifts that are coming in, for this new change of existence. It feels pretty big, if I'm going to be honest. It feels pretty big. The safety pin here is really standing out to me again as a symbol of things kind of left undone, things that need to be said but haven't been said. And by all means, if you want, that's obviously, this is your prerogative. I'm just channeling a message. I am not telling you do this or don't do that. If you felt compelled to tell this person, if it's a particular person, like, I really need to sit down and tell you my truth of how detrimental this was to me, and express that in your healed form, then by all means do that. But I don't think Spirit's pushing you to do anything like that could cause more harm. I don't feel that at all, which is why we brought up the speaking it to a crystal or something like that. But the safety pin gives me that feeling of like things undone, and also things that have really hurt. I keep getting the feeling of being stabbed with a safety pin. So maybe you're sewing or something, or maybe that happened to you recently. But it does feel more of like a metaphor for something, a metaphor for, like I'm hearing sometimes life stings. Sometimes life stings, which in the Colette Baron Reed Animal Oracle, that is the Wasp card. And I don't know how, there's so many cards in here, it would be near impossible for me to sit here and try to find it, even though that's what I'm actively doing at the moment, because there's something about the number of that card that is like standing, like what is the number on that card that might be significant for someone. We're also going to pull from this deck next. 64. So someone may have been born in 1964. You might be 64 years old. 64 also reduces to the number 10. And we've been talking about completing a cycle, but also you may have some significant memory or something related to a wasp. This isn't they're telling me like, we don't want to hang out here in this painful part of your reading, but it's to help you get to where you want to go and where you need to go. It's an encouragement. It's like a gentle nudge, like from a parent. This is part of your gift. Now, this isn't the fun part necessarily. There's much more to whatever this gift from the universe is, but what it is it does feel a lot better once you get through it. So the best thing that I can think of to describe what they're asking you to do here is I am in therapy and have been for 4 years, and it's the best thing I could have ever done for myself. And of the last 2 years, we've been specifically working on EMDR therapy. I cannot remember the acronym for that right now off the top of my head, but it's been unreal how beneficial this has been for me. And I'm mentioning this because what they're asking you to do is a lot like what I experienced in EMDR therapy, where you have to dig up an extremely painful memory, something you're wanting to process. You have to think about it and let the emotions of that memory creep back up and kind of consume your being, these terrible emotions. And then you have this back and forth movement, or I like to listen to beats. So I'll have headphones on. So then I'll hear a beat in my left ear and then a beat in my right ear. It goes back and forth, and the practitioner sets a certain amount of time between these. While you're listening to the beats go back and forth, you're thinking about, you're experiencing the feeling, you're back in that moment. And what it's doing is rewiring your brain. And like she describes it to me, I feel really compelled to tell you all about this, so bear with me. My therapist describes this to me as your brain is moving along and things are getting organized into drawers inside your brain. And then a traumatic event happens that kind of makes the papers you're organizing in your hand like fly up in the air, and those papers don't get filed correctly. So every time you have something that happens that triggers that part of your brain that experienced that trauma, you're automatically back in the room where the papers have been thrown up everywhere and nothing's organized. And it feels as traumatic to your body, to your nervous system in that moment when you have the trigger as it was in the moment that it occurred. So by this binaural beats going back and forth and thinking of these awful things, you're actually going back in time in a sense. Well, you're going back in time to the traumatic event, refiling those papers that got thrown into the air because you were traumatized, and putting them where they belong. So when a trigger comes up again, you don't forget it. Of course you can't forget these memories, which is what we were talking about. This is something that you could never forget. But you'll never forget what happened, but that emotional response, as if it's happening to you for the first time all over again, is dissipated, because those thoughts that are attached to that trauma are filed appropriately now. So it's not like walking into a room where a bomb has gone off every time somebody offhandedly mentions something that triggers that event for you. A very long-winded explanation of what they are asking you to do on a much smaller scale, which is to take this event, take your feelings about it, and vocalize them and say, that wasn't fair, that wasn't right, this is how this affected me, I deserved better. I deserve better. And now that I know I deserve better, I will never willingly allow myself to be in that position again. And there's something that just finalizes this for you. And maybe for some of you, if it's really severe, EMDR therapy, this is coming through to tell you, hey, you should look at that. That might really benefit you. But for others of you, I feel like you've been able to do enough processing and acceptance and work yourself at this point, where you could do this exercise that they're saying and be like a once and for all. Is it going to suck while you're doing it? Probably. But when you get to the end of it, just like I was getting to with the EMDR story, something clicks. It's like something snaps into place and it's done. And you can feel that release. You can feel that it's over with. That is like put away. It is put away. It doesn't mean that you might not ever cry about it again, but you're not going to be reliving it over and over again. And so I think by doing this exercise, it will just help these gifts really move in for you. Really move in for you. Okay. Let's get another animal. Let's get another animal here. Another message, or can you tell us about, can we have more information about what is coming in, these gifts coming in? I'm assuming in November or somewhere very close to that, because we set the intention for this to be like a November reading. I do kind of feel, I'm not going to lie, I do kind of feel like your situation here is a bit more fluid, where it may be like November to December, or happening like sprinkled throughout November and December. Thank you, Spirit. Can we have a clarifying message here about the gifts? About the gifts, please. Thank you. We have 11 with butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. So I feel like that really also goes hand in hand with everything we've been talking about here. At the bottom, we have Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. I don't feel like I stayed on that Rhino card long enough, because this is such a gorgeous card. The colors on it. And it's such like, it gives me such a peaceful, just calming energy, even though rhinos can be so deadly and destructive. It actually, this card gives me such a peaceful energy, where I think maybe up until this point in your life, you've really had to learn how to be that rhino in your own life. Take charge, take care of yourself, because of all the times in the past that you weren't able to take charge or really, take care of yourself in one way or another. And this is like, just now you are to a place, you've elevated and evolved even more, that now you're to a place where you have that ability, if you needed, to be that rhino, to overcome any obstacle. But you know that you don't have to. You can fully rely on Spirit and those that truly love you, that you know you'll never really be out in the cold. You're never really abandoned. You're never really alone. It is so, I don't know, just so much more elevated than it was 5 years ago for you. It's just, you have worked so hard, consciously or subconsciously, but mostly consciously. You've worked so hard to overcome these obstacles, these old ways of being, the anger and resentment towards people who have really harmed you in the past, painful situations, to work through them, to now you can see things from that higher perspective. You are very unashamed and unapologetic of who you are. And it's not in a cocky kind of, I will, never learn anymore kind of way. It's like, no, you really know yourself on a very deep, intense spiritual level. You really know yourself, like the really difficult, ugly, quote unquote, ugly, harder to love parts of yourself you have embraced them. You have brought them in and integrated them, because there's really no ugly parts. Any quote unquote hard to love parts, You have brought those in and integrated them within yourself, that now you're just free. Like that person I saw who is jumping around with like a loincloth on, like nothing on really, in this creek, just blissfully, gleefully playing and having joy in nature and in your own simplest form. So I think it's going to be really a sight to behold, a sight to witness you step into this new portal, this new timeline that Spirit has waiting for you. In some situations, like just a few weeks away. It is incredibly close. It's like if you knew how close, you would just lose your mind, really. But the whole point of all this is to be given a gift. It's going to be a beautiful thing to witness your full transformation coming out of the chrysalis, truly emerging as this like rainbow butterfly that you are. And look at that juxtaposition between embodying rhino energy and also equally embodying butterfly energy. It's like the full spectrum. Yeah, it's a wholeness. And so all of the other stuff that we've been talking about here is to help you get to that gorgeous wholeness where there's nothing hanging in the back anymore. You are free. You are in it. You are in this new reality, fully transformed, incredibly you, just flying free over all the past stuff that used to hold you back or weigh you down. It's literally in the past now. It can't affect you in that way anymore. Yeah, I really thought I was going to dig into more questions, but I feel very called to end this reading here. So we will leave it at that. What an exciting few weeks ahead you have, Capricorn. If you feel called to get a personal reading with me, you can get in touch with me at my website at thecl.com, or you can email me, text me, or call me. Hit me up on some social media platform. I'm all over. Please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Commenting is an incredible way to help boost the algorithm, and I love to read your comments more than you could possibly know. If you got this far, please leave a black heart, a crow emoji, and a rose emoji, or a butterfly. Yeah. And that will let me know that you got to the end of the reading. If you don't know what to say, that would be amazing. So thank you so much for being here. Please take excellent care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye.